Hello, and a very warm welcome to this film, Meeting God. These are some of my personal experiences that took me towards meeting God. Some 4 decades ago, I became more interested in spirituality, the occult, and quantum physics. I also began to look more deeply into the question of, is there a God? Within, I knew that there was a being called God, which was a title Jesus used to refer to the Father of all human beings. There are many religions that follow or believe in a God, each having a different philosophical view and belief. These seldom come under the umbrella of one of God's sacred laws, which is to love one another. Contrary to the teachings of God and the Master Jesus, religious wars have killed millions in the name of God, which continues to this day. I came to understand that almost everything on all levels regarding spirituality, the occult, and God was mostly abstract and right-brain orientated. This led me to stop looking outside of myself to identify with God, and indeed me. I felt I had to first go within to find inner peace and self-love, and then somehow God would come to me in some form or other. I began to look more deeply for ways to liberate my mind, emotions, and feelings. By going inwardly, I began to look at the world through spiritually orientated eyes, which adjusted and changed my view of life. I was no longer stuck in the past and its conditioning. This released my soul to be a free thinker, which helped to transform the ego. Out of my own experiences evolved my own philosophy of why humans are here on Mother Earth. It's a pathway I call free spirituality. A pathway I feel can connect people of all nations to the heartbeat of God, which is a way of being, not doing. By looking inwardly, I began to understand that I was a soul having a physical experience, and not the other way around. My whole energy system changed as the logic found its true place in organizing and taking care of all physical practicalities of life, like working, which is the doing aspect. The controlling logic became less dominant as I became more intuitive, accepting, and trusting. This gradually led to the demise of my ego, along with some of its attributes like fear, control, jealousy, expectations, and needs. The development of my higher senses were establishing themselves as my meditations became much deeper. The positive realization that there were unseen forces at work in all aspects of life became stronger and indeed a reality. Through meditation, my consciousness gradually branched out into other realms. doors opened to explore other dimensions in this galaxy, universe, and beyond. The knowledge that I had attained of the occult and spiritual universal laws chiefly came from the guidance and teachings of spiritual guides and masters. I have never had a spiritual earth teacher. One of the teachings I received was that religious teachings say that God created the world and universe, signifying that God is somewhere out there. My master said that this was not strictly true. In truth, God is the world and is the universe, therefore is within each and every one of us. I then realized that if I am made of stardust, I must be connected to the universal flow of God consciousness. If God is within me, then I must also be an image of God, and are interconnected through what quantum physics calls entanglement. A deeper realization of God came to me when I was being initiated into fifth dimensional consciousness by one of the seven masters. The master said to me, "Whatever you see or do from this moment onwards will be through the master's eyes." I could see the bigger picture of how I was to interact with others on the world on a daily basis. During my entire spiritual development, I have never lost faith in spirit. For me, faith is a knowing. I know that higher beings are serving as helpers, guides, angels and masters because they are also of the essence of God. I feel the presence of God everywhere and know that God is guiding me from within. And if this is true for me, so it must be true for others. My meeting of God came during a meditation when I was being guided by my master. Then a bright light appeared from nowhere. I soon realized that we were coming closer to each other, and I could feel God's vibration of light intensifying as it permeated every atom of my being. I was now being held in the aura of God's pure light. I had never experienced such a purity, which had no form or body, it was just pure light. There came an overwhelming sense of peace, a state of nirvana. As I bathed in this beauty, I tried to absorb as much light as possible. Eventually, I could no longer hold its force. It became blinding for my third eye. So I gradually stepped back into the outer field of light, which was still stronger than anything I had ever experienced. My master connected to me and could see that I was overwhelmed. He reassured me with these words, "Now you may realize how powerful love and light are. They are a combination of all that is. You may now continue to serve by sharing a knowledge of the occult and universal laws to help enlighten world consciousness. But remember, individually we have different perspectives of life, but collectively we are one." To this day, I continue to share my experience and knowledge with others who have an interest or are curious about spirituality. Thank you for watching and listening. Peace, love and light, Ralph Jenkins.